Hello again, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Inside the UBA, where we look at the league's North Division. Alongside Victor Howell, I'm Paul Crane. And Victor, in the first couple of seasons of the UBA, no division has been more topsy-turvy than the North Division. Everyone's been every place, it seems.
Yeah, we talked about on season 2 how in the South Division everything was so close and so tight-knit in the South Division. With the North Division out of season 2, what you would find is you'd find residing there the current UBA champion, but also within season 2, the storyline, besides a team that walked away with the hardware, is about another team that resides in the North Division, a team that couldn't find the win column in season 1, and they barely found the loss column in season 2. They were quite the turnaround story there.
You're talking about the Mumbai Challengers. Only one player returned from season 1 to season 2 to join all the newcomers. That was Karan. He was the leading scorer in the league in season 1, but he did so much more than just score in season 2 because he was asked to do other things.
He had to score in season 1. He was the only scorer they had in season 1. Not the case in season 2. He had great compliments of teammates. You saw the bullet pass there to his teammate Nikhil, who we're going to focus on again in just a moment. How about Jagdeep? He comes with some of that international experience. You see him drain the long three, and he had great size and physical ability to get to the inside. And then there's the athleticism again of Nikhil. Watch the good defense turns to quick offense. Nikhil on the breakaway and high flying for 2, the fun way with the slam dunk. We saw Karan be surrounded by a different talent set from what we saw in season 1. His scoring came way down, but his overall game came way up, and when it did, that's why the Mumbai Challengers were also finding a lot of success in season 2.
Nikhil had played with the Air Force. Jagdeep and Karan, 2 of the 8 players who represented the India national team internationally, and Ridhima Pathak spoke with several of the challengers.
निखिल, आपका पूरा का पूरा यूबीए का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा है?
बहुत बढ़िया रहा और यहाँ पर काफ़ी
I asked Nikhil to share his thoughts on his entire UBA experience, and he says, well, it's been absolutely fantastic because there are plenty of senior players as well as international players from whom we've got to learn a lot, and UBA has given a lot to India, and we expect a lot more in the near future.
मेरे लिए बहुत बढ़िया तो मेन यूबीए के तो मैं ये कहना
I asked Jagdeep to share his thoughts on UBA and his experience overall, and he says, well, it's been a great experience. And if I talk about myself, well, I am a senior player and I've played plenty of games before. But for the younger generation, I think it's a fabulous platform to showcase their talent, and I'm really thankful to UBA to be present in our country. Karan, UBA के बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे कि UBA ने कैसा push दिया? I asked Karan what kind of a push has UBA given to his career, and he says it's a fantastic platform. Well, people did know me before, but now they recognize me. So it is a fantastic platform for me as well as the youngsters.
And the Mumbai Challengers made their way to the North Division Finals, the league semifinals. But among the other newcomers that have had significant experience, well, there's Jagdeep, who was in the most valuable player conversation. He had played with Railways before UBA.
He was very high in that conversation because his inside presence really helped open things up for the Mumbai Challengers. He had a great power game, could get it to the rim and take it hard and draw fouls as well. Nice touch on his shots. He averaged just over 19 and a half a ball game for the damage that he did on the inside. It was a great big presence. But he also had some other international help as well. We're talking about Rambir. He had averaged about 14 a game, had a season high 29 in one of the games. Again, one of those players that had the quickness to get to the basket, but also had that long-range shooting touch for the Challengers.
And one of the reasons the future is looking so bright for the Mumbai Challengers. But we've got plenty still ahead from the UBA's North Division, including the team coached by a woman who has been one of India's most accomplished basketball stars, the Haryana Gold. Next. Welcome back as we continue our look at the UBA's North Division. And Victor, one of the teams that had a real dramatic turnaround, not the one they were wanting, was the Haryana Gold. Won the division in season 1, didn't win a game in season 2, but it wasn't because of lack of effort. They had 2 international players on the team, Vikas and Jaskaran. Vikas returning from season 1. Jaskaran, 6'9" newcomer to the league.
Yeah, and we'll focus with Jaskaran first and what he was able to do on the inside. Look, it wasn't for a lack of effort for Haryana, but it's like when you're playing cards. Every time you get cards, the cards just come out flat. That's what happened for the Haryana Gold in season 2. Then There's the big man, Jaskaran, stepping from the outside with his jump shot. Also had a good inside presence, could try to stretch the game, could have spent a little more time on the inside because they had a lot of outside shooters, like Vikas, and the experience that he brought back from season 1 into season 2. But it was one of those disappointments. Vikas having all the success in season 1 and the run that the Haryana Gold had, it just wasn't there in season 2. Paul, there were scoring droughts, there was inconsistent play. You combine all of that with injuries, it was just too much for this team. They had, the effort was there. It was just too much of a challenge and a roadblock ahead of them to finally get over the top.
Barender and Vikas formed a great backcourt in season 1. Barender had a back issue. He was one of the many injuries the team had to deal with in season 2. But Ridhima Pathak took time to speak with some of the Haryana Gold.
सबको बहुत चांस मिल रहा है इसमें काफ़ी अच्छा इनको खेलने का मौका मिल रहा है
Well, I asked Jaskaran that he himself has played an international tournament, and with UBA and professional basketball coming into India, how beneficial is it for the younger players? And he said it is really beneficial as they get a platform to showcase their talent. And this UBA league is definitely of international standard, so we are really appreciative to UBA to give us this chance.
सीजन 2 में सबसे फेवरेट मोमेंट यही था हमारा जो
Well, I asked Vikas what was his most favorite moment throughout the season 2. Well, he was not specific, but what he said is that the most favorite part was that as compared to Pune, we definitely played better in Hyderabad, and our foreign coaches asked to improve on our moving, and we definitely did that. And I think that was the most favorite part as the team evolved in Hyderabad.
And as a team and as a coach, as a player, as a fan, that's what you want to hear. Disappointed they didn't crack the win column? Absolutely. But they saw improvement from the Pune leg of season 2 to the Hyderabad leg of season 2. It just showed that they were coming together. But as I mentioned, you can only battle so many injuries and inconsistent play and not having a deep bench to try to get a win. But if they saw the improvement, that's the best thing they can say. It's a credit to the players on the team. It's a credit to the coach as well.
And that coach is one of the great names in the history of women's basketball, Sheba Magon, and she helped keep the team focused throughout the season. Sheba faced injuries, youth, and language issues with a lot of players from all over the country.
This is one that we knew was going to be bad for Coach Sheba Magon and everybody, and this is when Sushant went down. This was in the Pune leg of season 2. He injured his knee. It was an ACL and an MCL. You could see it buckle. Paul and I were right there, and Paul, we knew as soon as he went down, we knew that was going to be trouble. Just another instance of the Haryana Gold having to fight through something else, losing a player of his caliber.
And there's Sheba Magon. She did such a nice job keeping her team focused. They did end up going all the way to the buzzer against the eventual champions, the Delhi Capitals, as that game was tied at 66 with 1 second left when MVP Vinay Kaushik hit a buzzer beater to win the game. Otherwise, Haryana ended up being winless throughout the season, but Sheba took time to speak with Riddhi.
Coach, people have lots to say when a woman coaches men. How much of a big deal is that for you?
I have never felt that I'm different from the other coaches. It's just the same. My family has always treated me like a boy.
Right.
So I don't think so I am different from the rest of the other coaches in the league.
All right, and what challenges do you face? Because people are going to look at you as a woman coach.
It's basically, initially I had challenges because some of the boys, we didn't get the practice sessions, more of the practice sessions with them. So I couldn't connect with them. But as I've said before as well, that, you know, if you hurt the male ego, that's when it becomes difficult to teach them.
Right.
But if you tell them that, you know, this is how you're going to play better, you can get more connected with them. So I've been coaching the boys team in the school and in the colleges, so I don't find it difficult to connect with them. And I think the boys are, you know, they equally take it back from me when I really get upset and mad. They would patiently listen to me and they respond well.
All right, and we've got professional basketball which has come into India, and you're coaching men at the UBA. How has that impacted your career? How has that impacted your career as a coach?
Well, it's giving me another platform. I have been coaching the women team. Everybody knows that I've been attached with the under-16, under-18 women team. I've also been coaching the Delhi State women team for the past 5 years, and I have a very good record. But now this is a men team. Of course, it's a bigger platform for me, and as my players are growing, even I'm growing, learning from my mistakes. Because, you know, when you deal with these men, then each day you're learning something new.
Sheba Magon brings so much to the league and to the Haryana Gold. We're not done. We've got a team with plenty of star power. Coming up next, it's the Punjab Steelers when Inside the UBA continues. Welcome back as we continue our look at the UBA's North Division. The Punjab Steelers are next. Victor, they had 3 players come to the UBA Pro Training Camp in Phoenix, Arizona during the off-season, but one of them was not able to play during Season 2. That's Taj. He had an abdominal injury.
And that's not to say that Taj would have changed everything for the Punjab Steelers, but there's a reason why in Season 1 he earned the nickname of Full Throttle. He doesn't stop from one end of the floor to the other, and he brings one of those combinations that you don't see a lot throughout the entire UBA. He has great ball handling skills, and he's very quick off his feet, but he has great size, and it's a matchup nightmare for defensive, Paul, because if you come out on him, he'll blow past you. If you sag off of him, he can shoot it over you, and he can take it right at you and get you into foul trouble. They certainly missed him. I'm not saying he would have been the difference to give them a title, but he was a presence that was missed by the Punjab Steelers.
Look forward to seeing him in Season
Absolutely.
3. But the other 2 that came to Phoenix, Ravi and Gary, they were difference makers. Ravi, of course, the Season 1 MVP.
Took him a little while to get his offensive game going, but once he did, he was able to find range from the outside, and again, one of those players that had experience coming back from Season 1. There you see him squaring up from the left side behind the 3, really expanding his range. In Season 1, we saw more of the inside play, closer to the lane, and then on the outside in Season 2. And then here's Gary. All sorts of expectations for big number 1 because he is big and his size. It took him about 3 to 3.5 games in segment 1 of Season 2 on the Pune leg to find his comfort zone. But boy, when he found it, he took his game to another level and elevated it to the height that he carries on the floor. That's why there were so many expectations on his shoulders, because that potential is there.
He got it together, but it was a slow start, as you referenced. One of the things he did discuss with Ridhi.
चेंज ने मैं पहले 19 थी 19 में एडजस्ट होने में टाइम लगता है फिर हमने साथ में प्रैक्टिस की और एडजस्ट
I asked Gary about his performance in the season, which initially was a little slow and then he picked up. So what did he change? Well, he said initially he was taking time to gel along with the team, and once he had that comfort level, he took on.
मैं वहाँ पर मेन तो हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल हाई हुआ वहाँ पर जाके
I asked Gary about his experience at the pro training camp in Phoenix, and he said, well, it was indeed a splendid experience because it has just boosted my confidence level, because we played with international players from the NBA, and I think that has just taken my confidence to another level.
यूए में पहली बात होगी इंडिया में पहले प्रोफेशनल लीग नहीं थी कोई
I asked Gary about his experience at the UBA, and he said the experience was absolutely splendid. And since each player used to play for the state before, and because of UBA, they came together and played like a team. They got to know the players better, and this will also have an improvement in our national team of basketball, as now the players are better prepared to play basketball.
You know, you heard Gary talking about coming over to the United States when they had a chance for the training camp. And the big thing all the players took from that is how physical this game can be and how much stronger they had to be. And Paul, we saw that in Season 2. The level of talent in the UBA from Season 1 to Season 2 grew tremendously. And I mean, it grew physically and literally in size in the paint. It became a more physical game. The players had to adjust to that. And we saw players like Gary make that adjustment from leg 1 to leg 2 of the season.
He's one of the many we look forward to seeing as the UBA seasons continue in the future. But the Punjab Steelers, they did have a number of newcomers, as virtually every UBA team did, beginning with an injury replacement, Pari, who made his way to second team All-UBA because he did so many things other than just score, but he could score when he had to.
He certainly could. You see him there shooting from dead on from the three-point range right there at the top of the key. Very good offensive game, and he was also a very good floor general as well for the Steelers.
And Amrit, he played with Punjab Police before coming to the UBA. He was very consistent throughout the season. And how about the first Indian player to ever play in the European League, international player Kaushal?
It was really tough for Punjab to get all three on the floor. I was begging for it during the Pune leg. If you put Gary and Ravi and Kaushal all on the floor at the same time, it could be a matchup disaster for anybody. The flip side is they could counter with speed, but those are three of the biggest players in the UBA, all wearing the Punjab Steeler uniform. He brought a really good presence on the inside and was a compliment to either Ravi or Gary, whoever he was on the floor with.
And since Kaushal has played not only for the Indian national team but in the European League, he was one of those to take time to speak with Ridhi.
Kaushal, you're the only Indian player who's played in the European League. What would be points of comparison between the European League and the UBA?
well I think you can't compare the players playing in the European League and the players playing in the UBA. The standard is completely different. But I think UBA is getting there. I mean, this is a lot of exposure for all the players here, and I think UBA is getting to the level where Indian basketball needs to be recognized worldwide.
And how's your experience been like for playing for your team, that is Punjab?
Well, I mean, it's an honor for me to play for Punjab and captaining the team. I think we started off pretty slow this season, and then I think we pulled our socks back, and so we are in the playoffs. So let's see what happens tomorrow, and hopefully we win and make it to the semi-finals.
UBA हमारे लिए बहुत मायने रखता है. ये बास्केटबॉल के लिए बहुत बढ़िया प्लेटफॉर्म है.
I asked Amrit what does UBA and this season mean to you, and he says it means a lot to us because before India never saw a professional basketball league, and here it is, and this is our chance to showcase our talent. Hence we are very, very happy that UBA is in our country.
इस साल कोई मेरा
Performance in this season has been extremely consistent. Well, what did he try to bring on table for his team? And he said, well, yes, that's true. My performance has been consistent. It's not been too good or too bad. But what I'll try and do is next season is work harder so that we make it into the semis.
ये गेम हमारा बहुत टफ था और ये जरूरी.
I asked Amrit about the level of competition, what would be his opinion, and he said, well, it has been pretty good throughout the season because they just had a very competitive game against Mumbai. Unfortunately, they could not perform against Mumbai. So, well, he is a little sad about it, but then he's overall very happy with his team.
Ridhi, thank you. You heard both players reference being in the playoffs. Yes, they made their way to the play-in game against the Mumbai Challengers, but it's the Mumbai Challengers who made their way to the North Division finals, the league semifinals. But it'll be interesting to see how Punjab comes back, especially with a healthy Taj, as he's going to go full throttle.
Yeah, it'd be a big difference indeed.
Well, up next, a team in every sense of the word. Oh, and a champion, the Delhi Capitals, when we come back. Welcome back. One team left in the UBA's North Division, and that's the Delhi Capitals. And Victor, this is a team in every sense of the word.
It really was from start to finish. I thought there could be some bad karma for the Delhi Capitals early in the Pune leg of season 2. They had an opportunity where they started running up the score a little bit. In fact, they made it a point to see they were going to try to get to 100. And we were doing the broadcast at the time and said, ooh, I don't know if you need to treat teams like that, and it could be bad karma to come back to the Delhi Capitals. Well, they regrouped from that just fine. And they showed you that they didn't need one player to get to 100 or two. They did it all together as a team. And from start to finish, the last team standing, the Delhi Capitals, they did it the right way as a complete team effort.
They had a mix of old and new players. Old player Yudhvir, one of those who came to the pro training camp in Phoenix, Arizona, but they had new players from services in particular. And Victor, these guys made a difference, such as Smithin, who came from Navy, Ramesh from Army.
Smithin here, the step back, the pull back, nice jump shot. It's great to see guys coming into the experience and the well balance in the game. They all brought something a little different to the floor for the Delhi Capitals, but they were able to meld it so well and put it together. Look at the ball fake, get a defender in his face, and still get it up and under. It's every little bit of aspect of the game you could bring to the floor to get it to gel with another teammate. They were able to do that consistently night in and night out, and that's why it took them to the championship and eventually winning it all.
There's Yudhvir hitting that basket, and while his scoring went way down, it was because, in part, being part of a team that used all its parts. And Yudhvir and Smithin are two of those who spoke to Ridhi.
सीजन में पहले प्लेयर्स कम आए थे. इंडिया में बहुत कम पता था कि प्रोफेशनल लीग हो रही है. तो उससे बड़ी कहीं.
I asked Yudhvir what has been the difference for him between season 1 and season 2, as he's played in season 1 as well. And he says, well, the level of competition for sure has increased, and there are plenty more Indian players who are getting a chance to play in a professional league like UBA. So it's definitely a better season for us.
बहुत सी चीज़ें हैं जो हमने वहाँ पे सीखी हैं, जो हेल्पिंग डिफेंस में.
I asked Yudhvir that he was present at the pro training camp in Phoenix and how did that impact his game. And he says, well, the technical aspects of my game definitely improved, as well as our fitness levels.
ऐसे बहुत हेल्पफुल रहेंगे, खासतौर जो यंगस्टर जो कॉलेज वाले हैं उन्हें बहुत.
I asked Yudhvir how would camps like the pro training camp in Phoenix impact the younger generation in India. Well, he said that it is really, really helpful because we don't have that kind of facilities in India. We don't have that kind of training in India. And we went there, we got such facilities. It widened our spectrum. So indeed, it was very helpful and it will help the younger generation.
बहुत अच्छा लगा है। अभी देखो हम दिल्ली टीम से हैं, अभी लीग में हम तो
I asked Smithin how has the competition been like for him this season, and he says that it has been great. Well, playing for the Delhi team has been absolutely fantastic for me because, well, we've qualified in the semis and all the games are pretty tough, like the one which happened right away. And so the competition's been fantastic. We've got senior players in the team from whom we can learn a lot, so it's been great.
अगर आपके पास डिटर्मिनेशन है, सिंसियरिटी है, 32 is not age.
I asked Smithin, does it become a little tough for you to play in a league like UBA at age 32? And he says, well, if you've got determination and sincerity, no, it is not tough at all. Because if you see players outside, at this age, they start. And if you've got the determination, the willpower to do it, there is nothing tough in this world.
And certainly his age wasn't an issue, again, with that team effort because they never had to rely on that one person to carry the load. And you know what? We saw this in season one with the Chennai Slam. This was a team that found itself down a lot in games, and they found a way to come back. We saw the same thing with the Delhi Capitals in season two, but they never relied on that one player to have to put them all on their shoulders and carry them to the victory. When they fell down and they fell behind, it was this player contributing, another player contributing. Oh, sure, one rose above the rest, but he didn't have to do it night in and night out, and that's why they were the last team standing.
Didn't have to do it is a great point because they did all buy into the system, but that one player turned out to be the league's most valuable player, Vinay Kaushik. He became the 5th leading scorer in the league, but Victor, he did so much more than just score.
He did. He could certainly get up and down the floor. You see his burst of speed, no fear of attacking the basket. Once again, you see him on the right side. You saw him last time coming down the middle, this time getting it off the glass. He was very good on the defensive end. Great ball fake there, you see. And again, it's the body control. It's being able to get to the basket, seeing the floor so well. Oh, yeah, he can shoot from the outside. And then there was also a big one when the team first arrived to the Hyderabad leg in season 2. Down the stretch, game tied against a team that is yet to win this season. And he hits the game winner. And you can see the confidence. He took it up there against the Haryana Gold team, feeling good about itself. Hey, they're going to crack the win column. No, not tonight. He hits the big shot to win the game.
He stepped up with big plays at big moments, part of why he became the MVP. But again, this is the team that embraced the team concept. 12 players, all the roster scored in one game, 11 of 12 the next. And there's more on the Delhi Capitals with Vinay and the head coach who spoke to Ridhi.
Coach, your team was among the first to embrace using the entire roster. How has that approach helped you and why do you do it?
Because my team is very balanced and each player play for their college and their university, and at the national level or senior national level and junior national. I have 5 guys from Indian team also, but every time I have changes that I have replacement for a particular post. If there is a post player, I have 2 or 3 post players at the same position, and that for the point guard we have the same guy with the same talent. That's why every time I'm keep on rotating the players. Every time fresh legs on the floor, and they can brush the other team.
Vinay, you've played plenty of tournaments for the Railways. What is the biggest difference between playing UBA and the tournaments for Railways?
UBA is a tournament which is gathering other players also all over India. So there is good teams here and they are competing really well, and the competition level is so much and you can't say that who will win, who will lose. It's up to the day and how you play.
And Vinay, how has UBA influenced your game?
It's better to play here because I played from Delhi team and now I'm playing from Gujarat team. So there are good teams, but here I'm having good point guard, good forwards, good pivots and good changes also in our team. So it's good here to we can give our 100% here.
And the Delhi Capitals wound up winning it all. Now, for everyone who's worked on this one, we thank you for watching. See you next time on Inside the UBA.